Hello there. I hope everyone is staying safe. I just got in from getting my very first vaccination shot. I know I said that, California is a shit show, and it definitely was, but recently, within the past 2 to 3 weeks, things have really, really turned around. So that's good. Well, today, I'm off the cuff, of course. That's my new approach. I'm going to be talking about some P-Valley fans. I may talk about some other stuff, but I'm beginning by talking about some fans. So on April 14th, I received a message. I received a DM, and the DM said the following quote, "Thank you for the like. My biggest dream is to have a starring role as a trans woman on P-Valley. I want to show my pussy and tits. Please follow me and I'll follow you." End quote. Now, I'm not giving the name of the person who sent this to me, obviously. But I'm mentioning this because this is what I mean when I talk about some P-Valley fans, and I hope that y'all are amused. This message didn't end up in your inbox, so I understand it's going to affect y'all much differently than it affected me, because I read this and I had to read it again. I had to do a double take, and I clicked on this person's profile because all of it threw me. All of it threw me. And it made me really feel for, again, as I've said before, the people who are associated with the series. Okay, so getting back to the message. She says, "My biggest dream is to have a starring role as a trans woman on P-Valley. I want to show my pussy and tits." So my first question to this person, this fan, which I will call her A. That sucks. I will call her Annabelle, because that's a beautiful name. My first question for Annabelle is, did you watch the show? I need to know if you watched P-Valley. Because if you watched P-Valley, you would see that there isn't a single cast member or a single extra or dancer or person on the series who showed pussy. So that's why I gotta ask if you've seen the show. Because if you've seen the show, you see titties and you see ass. You also see dick. But you don't see pussy and you don't see pussy lips. At least not for season 1. Right? So I just want to know if you've seen the show. I also want to know if you follow the official accounts of anyone who's associated with the show, because they posted when P-Valley was looking to cast people for season 2, and those notices went out, I think, in March. Okay, so you're late. You're very late to the fucking party. And lastly, why do you think that your DM telling me that you gonna show me your holes is gonna get you booked? Like, that's not how this gets done. Where is your audition reel? Where are your photos? I don't agree in sending unsolicited messages, period. But if you're going to do so, you always want to make it easier on the person, on the recipient of your message. And by making it easier, you would actually submit something that you want them to review, even if it's some super hot, super sexy photos. Now, I'm not going to weigh in on what this person looks like because it's neither here nor there. right? Whether I think this person would have a chance joining the show. It's like they absolutely don't have a chance by sending me a DM offering to show pussy and tits on a series where ain't nobody showed their pussy, right? But I'm not trying to slam this person because this message made me happy, okay? This message. I saw this message and all of a sudden I wanted to get into Katori Hall's inbox. I wanted in. I just wanted access. Just give me like 10 minutes, an hour, so I could screenshot the shit out of the DMs and be rolling on the ground laughing. So back to the nudity on the show. The men are the ones that show dick and ass. So thank you. Shout out again to Katori Hall. Shout out again. And Andre Obama has the biggest dick on the series out of the people that we have seen. And let me tell you, I am very, very hopeful that Diamond will be nude as soon as possible to pop off season 2. Tyler Lepley, he put out a video the other day and I'm just looking at it and I'm looking at it on repeat and I'm like, he's really sexy. It's just undeniable. Please get him naked. Please. Please get him naked. Okay. So we seen, I can't remember who we seen. It's just off the top of the head. I'm talking dick. Like we saw Uncle Clifford's ass first, I think, but we seen Andre Obama's dick and it was flaccid, impressive, even though it was flaccid. We saw him, we saw Corbin, we saw Gidget's boyfriend. I forgot his name right now. We saw his dick, and I can't remember who else's dick we done seen up on the show, but please let expose Diamond. That's what we're here for, okay? That's why we are here. This podcast is by a comic, and the last episode was March 2nd. Now, this podcast makes me laugh the most. It makes me laugh more than any other podcast. Consistently, frequently, throughout the podcast. And that podcast is called You in Danger, Girl. And she spells girl G-U-R-L. The comic is Janelle James. And basically what the podcast is about is each week she has a comic come on her show and discuss an erotic thriller. So they're giving mad jokes about erotic thrillers, and they are so incredibly talented and over the top funny. It never matters whether you've seen the movie or not. You are going to be laughing so much. And Janelle is a very sexual person. So who's really, she's was married and she has 2 sons, but she clearly has been involved with several people. She has endless stories. So they basically, Janelle and a friend, they talk about a movie. It's insanely funny. And then what she started to do is she started to have what she calls Caution Corner. Every episode that is about a movie, in the beginning of the episode, Janelle reads a letter or a few letters that have been submitted by her listeners about the red flags that they've seen from their relationships or dating somebody. Janelle and her host, they talk about those in the beginning of before they launch into the movie shit. But then she has Caution Corner episodes. And those episodes are where they take just one listener letter and they dissect it. All I could say is if you want to laugh while listening to a podcast from beginning to end, you got to listen to You in Danger, Girl. And I'm just going to put it out into the universe that I would love to be a guest on You in Danger, Girl. I would love to. I like putting things out there in the universe. And considering the performing I do,